More breweries are closing than opening right now, something that hasn't happened in over 20 years. But why is this happening, and what's next for craft beer? I'm Eric Martins, chemical engineer and brewery owner, and here are 3 big reasons why so many breweries are closing right now. The first one is rising costs. This may be an obvious one, but everything from ingredients, packaging, and labor costs are on the rise, and this is already a business where margins are very slim. This has just made it more difficult to be profitable in the beer industry right now. Number 2 is a decline in beer consumption. We're seeing fewer people drink beer and people drinking less per occasion. Beer is also losing some of its share to spirits, canned cocktails, and cannabis. And this usually gets attributed to health reasons or just personal choice. But one reason for this that I think gets overlooked is the effect that the pandemic had on beer, especially when it comes to live events. Things like concerts, festivals, and sporting events are big beer drinking occasions. And when those went away entirely during the pandemic, beer lost out on these big occasions to sell their product. Not only were people not drinking as much beer in this time period, they were also replacing it with alternatives. And after months or years of this habit change, beer just never really made it back into their life. The third reason is that younger generations just aren't drinking as much as the previous ones did. You might call this the Gen Z effect. And if you've seen any articles like this one, then you already know that there are a number of reasons that younger generations are choosing not to drink alcohol. But I think it's important to keep in mind that many people in this age group had their formative socializing and partying years during the midst of a pandemic. When school and those first jobs were remote, the going out and socializing with friends lessened, and so we just formed different habits around socializing. And so many Gen Zers just formed different habits around socializing and drinking than the older generations did. But here's why I'm still optimistic about craft beer for the long term. Live events are back, and with beer being a staple at those types of events, I think it will start to become a top choice over the next several years. We are also beginning to see much of this younger generation start to come into our tap room. And what I've learned is that many of them are not anti-alcohol. They may just be figuring out how to engage with it, and they want choices. Having a non-alcoholic option in your bar or tap room right now is a necessity, in my opinion. And there will always be opportunities for breweries, especially craft breweries, to innovate and adapt to their environment. So this may feel like a decline in beer, but I see it more as a shift. And brewers who can read the moment and adapt quickly have a real opportunity to lead craft beer into the next chapter.